Meet Jerry Johnson. He's a grandfather, a truck driver. In 2020, Jerry flew to Phoenix with $39,000 in cash to buy a semi-truck at an auction. He checked his bag. He broke 0 laws, domestic flight, no drugs, no warrants, no criminal history whatsoever. When Jerry landed in Phoenix, police were waiting for him at baggage claim. They didn't arrest him. They didn't charge him with anything. They simply took his $39,000 in cash and walked away. It took Jerry 31 months and a federal lawsuit to get his own money back. Now, you're probably thinking, well, he was carrying way over $10,000, so that's why they took it. But here's the thing. That $10,000 rule you've heard about your entire life, it's not what you think it is. Today, I'm breaking down what the rule actually says, how law enforcement is using it against everyday travelers, the legal loophole that lets them take your money without ever charging you with a crime, and the exact words you need to say if you're ever stopped. Make sure you stick around for the part about the waiver, because if you ever sign one of those, you are done. Let's get into it. So let's start with the rule itself. The $10,000 reporting threshold only applies to international travel. When you enter or leave the United States, you are legally required to declare any amount of cash over $10,000 to U.S. Customs. That's it. That's the actual rule. Domestically, there is no limit. You can legally fly within the United States with $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, or even $1 million in cash. It is completely legal. There is no law that says you can't. But here's where it gets twisted. Let's say you heard about the $10,000 rule and you thought, okay, I'll just carry $9,500 to stay safe and avoid any problems. Congratulations. You may have just committed a federal crime. It's called structuring. And it means intentionally keeping your cash under a reporting threshold to avoid detection. Even if you're flying domestically, where the threshold doesn't even apply, carrying an amount that looks like you're trying to stay under $10,000 can be flagged as suspicious. So think about this. Carrying $11,000 in cash, perfectly legal. Carrying $9,000 in cash, potentially suspicious. You literally cannot win if you don't understand how this system actually works. Now here's the part that made me genuinely uncomfortable. TSA agents are not police officers. They cannot arrest you. They cannot seize your cash. Their job is to screen for security threats. That's it. But what they can do is tip someone off. TSA agents are part of what's called a referral network. If a TSA agent sees a large amount of cash in your bag during the X-ray scan, they can alert law enforcement officers who are stationed at the airport. And it goes beyond TSA. Airline ticket counter employees have also been known to flag passengers, especially those who pay for tickets in cash or appear nervous. And here's the part that really got to me. In some cases, the DEA has paid out commissions to what they call confidential sources for providing tips about passengers carrying large amounts of cash. That's essentially a financial incentive for the person scanning your bag or checking your ticket to report you. Not because you've done anything illegal, but because you have cash. Let us know down in the comments how you feel about that, because I have a lot of thoughts and none of them are positive. This is the scariest part of the whole thing, and it's the reason Jerry Johnson lost his money for 31 months. It's called civil asset forfeiture, and it works like this. When law enforcement takes your cash at the airport, they don't charge you with a crime. They charge your money. I'm not exaggerating. The actual court case is not United States versus Jerry Johnson. It is literally United States versus $39,000 in U.S. currency. Your cash is the defendant. And unlike criminal court, where you are innocent until proven guilty, in civil forfeiture, your money is guilty until you prove it's innocent. That means you, the person who did nothing wrong, now have to hire a lawyer, go to court, and prove that your own cash wasn't connected to any illegal activity. The burden of proof is completely flipped, and most people either can't afford the legal fight or don't even know they have the right to challenge it. So, why would local police departments be so eager to seize your cash at the airport? Because they get to keep most of it. Under a federal program called equitable sharing, when local police partner with federal agencies on a seizure, the local department gets to keep up to 80% of whatever they took. And what are they spending it on? You might assume it goes toward fighting crime or community safety programs, but investigations have shown departments using seized funds to buy things like espresso machines, margarita makers, new SUVs, and even military-style tactical gear. This is what critics call policing for profit. Your vacation money is literally funding someone's department wish list. Okay, so what do you actually do if this happens to you? Let's say you're stopped at the airport.
How much cash are you carrying?
Here's the trap. If you lie and say, I don't have any cash, and they find it, you've just given them a reason to seize it because you lied.
I have $15,000.
You've also given them a reason to seize it because now it's flagged as suspicious. Either answer can be used against you. So here's what you say instead.
Officer, I do not consent to any searches. I am invoking my right to remain silent. Am I free to go?
That's it. You don't argue. You don't explain why you have the cash. And here is the most important part of this entire video. If they offer you a deal, something like, we'll give you back half your money right now if you just sign this waiver, do not sign it. That waiver is designed to prevent you from suing them later to get the rest of your money back. It is not a compromise. It is a trap. Never sign the waiver. So knowing all of this, here's what I'd recommend for anyone who needs to travel with a significant amount of cash. First, carry a paper trail, bank withdrawal receipts, a bill of sale, a letter from your attorney explaining the purpose of the funds. If you can prove where the money came from and where it's going, you are in a much stronger position. Second, know your rights before you fly. The Institute for Justice has free resources specifically about civil forfeiture and your rights at airports. I'll leave a link in the description. Third, never volunteer information about cash to anyone at the airport. Not the ticket agent, not the TSA officer, not the person next to you in line. Keep it to yourself. And fourth, consider alternatives. Wire transfers, cashier's checks, or even just using a bank at your destination can eliminate the risk entirely. Cash is legal, but in 2026, cash at an airport paints a target on your back. The airport is one of the only places in America where your property can be taken without you ever being accused of a crime. And the $10,000 rule that most people believe protects them, it doesn't even apply to domestic flights. Knowing how this system actually works is the difference between keeping your money and losing it for years. If you want to make sure you're fully prepared before your next flight, I have a full carry-on packing checklist that covers everything TSA allows and doesn't allow. I'll leave the link down in the description.
The era of just show your passport and fly is officially ending. And if you rely solely on that blue book in 2026, you might not make it past the lobby, because we are shifting from physical ID to mandatory digital wallets and biometric scans that don't care about your loyalty status. Throw in new hidden taxes and strict digital-only lanes, and you have a recipe for getting stranded at the gate. So put down the suitcase for a second. We need to talk about the digital shift of 2026, what is legally required versus what is just a rumor, and exactly how to set up your phone so you aren't the one stuck in the manual processing line. This is the year your driver's license might finally go digital. The TSA now accepts mobile driver's licenses stored in your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet, but only at select airports and checkpoints. If your state supports it, you can tap your phone instead of showing your license. Sounds futuristic, right? Here's the catch. It doesn't work everywhere. Some airports still reject them, scanners fail, and TSA agents will send you right back in line if it doesn't scan. Rule number 1. Always bring a physical ID. Even the TSA quietly says, digital ID is optional convenience. Also, remember that May 7, 2025 was the hard deadline for real ID enforcement. So if your license doesn't have that little gold star, you'll need your passport to fly domestically. And speaking of passports, the US is testing the next big thing, the digital travel credential. Soon you'll board flights with just your face and your phone, no paper, no plastic. The ICAO and major airlines are already rolling it out in trials across Atlanta, Dallas, and Los Angeles. So yes, the future of air travel is here. But keep that passport handy, because for now, it's still your best backup plan. Let's talk about the rule that refuses to die, the 311 liquids rule. Despite all the TikToks claiming it's gone, it's still very real in 2026. You can only bring liquids under 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters in a clear quart-size bag. Here's what changed. Not the rule, but the technology. Many U.S. airports now use computed tomography scanners that can actually see through your bag in 3D. Where those scanners exist, you can leave liquids and laptops inside your carry-on, but not every airport has them yet. Chicago O'Hare, Dallas Fort Worth, and Miami International do. Smaller airports mostly don't. So unless you know for sure your airport has CT lanes, pack like it's still 2010. And this one's big. Airlines are quietly tightening carry-on sizes again. Some are enforcing stricter dimensions. Others, like Southwest starting 2026, are reworking seat assignments and baggage fees. Translation: weigh and measure your bags, or risk paying $75 at the gate. Quick tip: pack your liquids for TSA and your sanity, because the rule's not going anywhere this year. If you're heading to Europe in 2026, your first stop might look a little different. The EU's new Entry-Exit System, or EES, officially launched on October 12, 2025, and becomes mandatory by April 10, 2026. That means every time you enter or leave the Schengen zone, which is, most of Europe, your photo and fingerprints will be recorded digitally. No more quick passport stamp, and enjoy your stay. Now, you'll face a short biometric scan at an automated gate. For first-timers, expect it to take a few extra minutes. Once you're in the system, it's faster next time. But if you're connecting flights in Europe, build in extra time between arrivals and departures. And here's what's next. The ETIAS Travel Authorization, Europe's version of the US ESTA, goes live late 2026. That means US travelers will have to apply online before flying, even for short stays. It's quick and cheap, about €7. But don't forget to do it, or you won't even board your flight. Pro tip: if you're traveling with a spouse or friend, register together on your first EES entry to stay in the same queue. 2026 isn't just changing how you fly, it's changing how much you pay. Starting April 1st, 2026, the UK air passenger duty increases again. That means flights leaving the UK, especially in premium cabins, just got pricier. And you'll probably see similar fuel surcharges creeping into ticket prices worldwide. But here's one piece of good news. The U.S. Department of Transportation passed new refund rules that force airlines to issue automatic refunds when they cancel or delay flights significantly. No more waiting on hold for 4 hours to beg for your money back. You'll also get refunds if you paid for extras, like seat upgrades or Wi-Fi, and the airline didn't deliver. Still, keep screenshots of delay times and receipts for anything you purchase. Automation only works when the data is clean, and missing proof can slow refunds. And if your flight's canceled overnight, ask the gate for the airline's customer service plan. Many are now required to offer food or hotel vouchers for eligible delays. Because in 2026, the airlines finally have to play fair, but only if you know your rights. Here's what works best in 2026 MPC, Global Entry, and Clear Plus. Mobile Passport Control, or MPC, is the official U.S. Customs app that lets you submit your arrival info before you reach the officer. It's 100% free and now accepted at over 50 U.S. airports. If you travel internationally twice a year or more, Global Entry is still your best bet. And you can use the same kiosk for re-entry even if your travel companion doesn't have it. Clear Plus continues to expand in 2026, but only speeds up ID check, not TSA security itself. Combine Clear with PreCheck, and you're golden. And finally, those facial recognition boarding gates aren't going away. By the end of 2026, most U.S. international terminals will board passengers by face scan instead of paper passes. If that makes you uneasy, you can opt out. Just tell the agent you prefer a manual check. And here's the exciting part. Those trials with the digital travel credential, where your passport lives securely in your phone, are expanding fast. Within a couple years, you might walk through an airport without touching a single document. So, start practicing now. Keep your ID, passport, and phone together. That's your travel triangle for the future. Have a real ID license or passport. Physical always wins. Enroll your digital ID only if your state and airport support it. Pack liquids under 3.4 ounces and assume TSA still cares. If flying to Europe, learn the EES timeline and ETS requirement. Keep receipts for refund claims and airline credits. Use MPC or Global Entry to skip customs lines. And don't be the person who finds out at the gate that your digital ID doesn't work here yet. Because travel in 2026 isn't harder. It just rewards the people who prepare. If you found this helpful, tap subscribe and share it with that one friend who still argues with the TSA about their water bottle. Smart flights, smooth connections, and I'll see you in the next one. Millions of travelers are about to walk into the airport thinking nothing has changed. But starting in 2026, some of the biggest travel rule changes in decades begin quietly taking effect. Not with announcements, not with clear warnings, but at the checkpoint, the gate, and the boarding door. New systems are changing how your identity is checked, how your documents are verified, and how mistakes are punished. Some travelers will be scanned without realizing it. Others will be charged fees they didn't know existed. And some will be denied boarding over rules they never saw coming. This isn't about one airline. And it's not just about one country. Welcome back to Jet Set Genius. If you want to stay ahead of new travel rules before they cost you time, money, or a missed flight, make sure you're subscribed. Let's start with the change everyone is talking about. Online passport renewal. For the first time, the U.S. State Department has rolled out a full digital renewal system. No mailing your passport, no checks, no envelope anxiety. If you qualify, you can renew completely online. But here's where people get tripped up. Online renewal is not for everyone, and it is definitely not always faster. To qualify, you must meet very specific criteria. You're renewing a standard adult passport. You were at least 25 when it was issued. Your name hasn't changed, and your passport falls within the eligible issue window. If even one of those doesn't apply, the system will reject you. And here's the part most people don't realize. Once you submit online, you can't switch to mail. You can't walk into an appointment. And you can't upgrade later if your trip suddenly becomes urgent. Your application is locked in. That's why this matters. If you have travel coming up soon, especially within the next 6 weeks, online renewal can actually slow you down. In those cases, expedited mail renewal is still the smarter move. Online renewal is best for routine renewals with no deadlines and no pressure. Think of it like airport security. The digital lane looks faster, but only if nothing goes wrong. Remember the days of handing your passport to an officer and getting that satisfying stamp? Well, those days are numbered. In 2026, airports across the US, Europe, and Asia will move toward a fully biometric system. That means your face and fingerprints will replace traditional documents for everything, from check-in to boarding to customs. The system is already being tested in places like Atlanta, Dallas, and London Heathrow. You walk up to a camera, it recognizes you in seconds, and your boarding pass appears automatically. Sounds futuristic, until you realize there's no way to opt out in many airports. If you're not comfortable with being scanned or photographed, you'll have to join a slower manual verification line. And that line is expected to grow dramatically once these systems become mandatory. The new EES system in Europe will also record exactly when you enter and leave the EU. If you thought carry-on rules couldn't get worse, think again. Starting in 2026, multiple airlines are set to enforce new bag size and weight restrictions. Some are introducing digital bag scanners at check-in, automatically rejecting oversized carry-ons before you even reach the gate. Airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, and a few US low-cost carriers are already testing this. And the next phase? Charging passengers to use the overhead bins. Yes, you heard that right. Paying for space above your seat could become as normal as paying for the seat itself. Airlines argue it's about boarding efficiency, but let's be honest, it's about revenue. Here's the part travelers miss. Even full-service airlines are rumored to adopt personal item-only fare options next year. That means the bag you once carried for free could cost you $40 to $80 more per flight. Smart move. Invest in a small, structured under-seat bag that meets personal item dimensions and use compressible cubes to maximize space. Also, weigh your carry-on before you leave home. Some airlines now enforce 15-pound limits for overhead luggage. Don't let your vacation start with an argument at the gate. Airport security is about to feel very different, and for once, that might actually be a good thing. In 2026, TSA and airports across Europe are rolling out next-generation CT scanners. These advanced machines can analyze the contents of your bag in 3D, which means no more taking out laptops, liquids, or toiletries in many locations. Yep, the infamous 3.4-ounce liquid rule is on its last legs. Several airports in the UK and EU are already phasing it out, and TSA is testing similar systems at major US hubs right now. That said, don't get too comfortable just yet. Not every airport will upgrade at the same pace, so depending on where you fly, you might still need to remove your liquids and electronics. Another quiet change: shoe removal. The new scanners will be able to detect what's inside footwear, allowing most travelers to keep their shoes on during screening by 2026. Get ready, because your passport and boarding pass are about to merge. By 2026, the U.S. State Department will complete the rollout of next-gen e-passports. These digital-ready passports will include upgraded chips compatible with biometric systems and secure digital credentials that can live on your smartphone. In plain English, your phone could become your passport. Several airlines, including Delta, United, and British Airways, are already testing digital travel credentials. They verify your identity using facial recognition, so you can board without showing a single document. It's convenient, but also risky. Lose your phone mid-trip, and your digital ID goes with it. You could find yourself stranded without proof of citizenship. Smart move. Always carry your physical passport, even if you're using digital boarding. Keep paper backups of key documents, and store a photo of your passport info page in a locked notes folder on your phone. Technology is great, until your battery dies right before customs. Here's a rule change that hits where it hurts: your wallet. Starting in 2026, airports and airlines will quietly increase passenger taxes and environmental surcharges. You'll see them disguised as facility fees, fuel recovery, or green aviation levies. The UK has already confirmed an air passenger duty increase in 2026, and several EU nations are expected to follow. Experts predict similar adjustments will arrive in the US as airports modernize infrastructure. The tricky part? These costs are baked into your ticket, meaning you might not even realize you're paying more. Smart move. When comparing flights, check the taxes and fees breakdown on the checkout page and use airline credit cards that offer travel statement credits or fee reimbursements. Also, keep an eye on airport lounge access cards that include tax offsets or free checked bags. A few small adjustments can save hundreds each year.